back. My name is Denai Wolfe. I'm a financial clarity coach and a profit strategist, which means that I help ambitious entrepreneurs like you increase your profits and decrease your stress. And I do that by teaching financial literacy. I strongly believe that if you don't know what's going on in your bank account, you don't know what's going on in your business. Every week, I go live teaching you guys everything you need to know about financial literacy. And today's training is all about how to make sure that tax season is a breeze, okay? I don't want you guys in a situation where you look at the calendar and suddenly realize it's April and everything is due and you're scrambling, okay? We want to get rid of the scramble. Leave that for your eggs. That's not what we want to do for tax season. And that's not what smart strategic entrepreneurs do. They don't wait till the last minute, okay? They are making sure that everything is in order. So today, I'm going to teach you guys 5 things that you can do now in November to make sure that your tax season is a breeze. So the very first thing we're going to do is organize your documents, okay? Let's get rid of the junk drawer. Let's get rid of the shoebox, all of the Ziploc bags. We need to make sure that all of your receipts are together. We need to make sure that you have all of the documentation of what you have paid any contractors, because you're going to need that to file your 1099s. You want to make sure that anything that has come in the mail, any type of documents you received from maybe your state tax office or the IRS, all of them are going to come together in a nice little pile, whether you want to put them in a file folder box or just in a folder on your desk. But I want you to know exactly where they all are, and I want them to all be together. I spoke with someone probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she said that she had genuinely missed the deadline of her taxes because she could not find all of her paperwork, right? And a lot of you are probably listening to that and going like, oh yeah, that's me. That's me. All right. I don't want that to be you. You are better than that. Okay. You need to take the time and you're going to scramble around your house, scramble around your office, and find all of the documents that you need. Now, here's the thing. I want you to take it a step further. And when you are organizing all of your documents for this year, I want you to figure out a system that works for you for future documentation. This way, next year, when you get ready to prep, you guys can take it down to 4 steps because you already have all of your documents together, okay? But that's the very first thing I want you to do. Make a mad dash around your house and office, find all the important stuff, and get them together in an organized pile. Now, I'm a really big fan of storing this digitally, and I'm going to tell you why. Most of this documentation that you're pulling, your tax preparer is going to need it. I don't want you in a situation where you're literally having to send it through the mail to them, right? So if you could take the time to scan these documents into a Google Drive, Dropbox, however is going to work best for you. This way you have a digital copy and you don't have all of these papers laying around. But I know that is a very big time commitment to take the time to scan everything in. So at minimum, guys, please get them all in an organized manner in some type of file system. Okay, moving on to step 2, complete your bookkeeping. Guys, let me explain to you how all of this is going to work, okay? Your business has revenue, right? That is the money that customers, clients have paid you for your services or products. Then your business has deductions, business expenses, right? You take revenue minus business expenses equals profit. You can think about the profit in your business as your gross paycheck back when you were an employee with a job. So what happens to a gross paycheck? Well, taxes come out of it. So the profit in your business is going to be your taxable income. I do have other videos where I go into this in more detail, so I will link those below. But high level, you're going to be taxed on the profit of your business. And the only way to know what the profit of your business is to have good bookkeeping. So I think a lot of times bookkeeping is something that just gets pushed to the wayside and people don't realize the significance of it. it literally determines how much you owe Uncle Sam. So we want to make sure that your bookkeeping is pristine. And that's why I don't want you waiting till the last minute, because if we're waiting till the last minute and we're trying to clean up a year's worth of books, mistakes are going to happen. Now, if you are not a trained bookkeeper, if you need help with that, shoot me a message. We've got a great program. We can help you guys out. But what I really want to stress to you today is time is of the essence with this, right? We want to make sure that we stay on top of it because it's November. We need to get those books in order so we can really say, okay, are there any smart moves we need to make prior to December 31st? Moving on to step 3. We want to take a look at our retirement accounts and our health savings accounts and determine if there are any tax advantages to making contributions to them, because now would be the time to start making moves for that. There are numerous situations where making a contribution to your HSA or making a contribution to an IRA can actually lower your tax bill. This is the time to think about this stuff, guys, okay? We don't want to do this April 14th when our taxes are due April 15th, right? We want to be ahead of the curve. And here's what I know, right? Most of you watching this are moms. So what do we have coming up, moms? All the things, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas. The next 2 months for moms are going to be bananas, right? So this is stuff that we want to start gradually diving into before the holiday season just completely comes and takes us by storm, right? We cannot leave things to last minute because things always come up, right? If you say, okay, I'm going to wait till the week of April 15th, guess what? Your kid might get sick, right? That happens. Always awful timing, and it derails everything. So I am such a firm believer in doing things so early and always being prepared, because the unexpected always happens, right? So we want to make sure that we are being proactive, because I'm sure so many of you are thinking, why is she telling me this in November, right? And I'm telling you this because shit happens, right? We need to be prepared. Couple of things. Let me be very, very succinct in what I'm saying. Number 1, I want you to be prepared early, because if we are able to get everything organized now, we can actually make smart, strategic decisions prior to December 31st. Okay, that's my number 1 reason for you wanting to get started now. The second reason I want you to get started now is because if you wait until the last minute, you leave room for a scramble that can create mistakes. And the third reason to start now is because you also, in waiting till the last minute, leave room for something unexpected to completely derail you from your plans. So that's why I'm on my soapbox talking about this now in November. Moving on to step number 4. Remember how I talked about making smart, strategic decisions? Once your bookkeeping is organized and you're really able to determine what the profit is of your business, then you're going to take a look at your cash flow. And then you can start making smart, strategic decisions. One of which is to determine, is there anything that your business really needs? Okay, we don't want to spend money frivolously, but is there anything that your business really needs that is a smart investment that you could make prior to December 31st that will lower your taxable income, therefore lowering your tax bill? I want to take a quick time out here and explain something, okay? When people run out and buy things to lower their tax bill, they tend to think it's dollar for dollar, and it's not. So what this means is, let's say your tax bill is $10,000. That doesn't mean that you could go out and buy a new car and put a $10,000 down payment, and now you've eliminated that $10,000 tax bill. It doesn't quite work like that, okay? So let's say that your taxable income for the year is $50,000, all right? So let's say with that $50,000, it made your tax bill. I'm going to run the numbers real quick because I can't do that math on the top of my head. But if we were to take $50,000 with an average tax of about 30%, we are going to have a $15,000 tax bill. Now, where a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake is they think, oh, I'm just going to go out and buy $15,000 worth of stuff. Well, that's not how it works. Here's what's actually going to happen. Let's say that you go out and you do buy $15,000 worth of legitimate business expenses. And now that $50,000 profit you had in your business, it's now down to $35,000. So now what that means is you're going to owe taxes on the $35,000. So gonna have to whip out my calculator again, but for $35,000 at 30%, now your tax bill is down to $10,500. So you spent $15,000 trying to get out of your tax bill, and you only lowered your tax bill by about $4,500. So now you're out the $15,000 in money you spent, and you still have a $10,000 tax bill because you're really only going to have a savings of whatever your tax bracket is. So in this example, I said 30%. So all of the things that you purchase for your business, hoping to reduce your tax bill, you can really think about it as you only had a savings of 30% or whatever your tax percentage is, which hashtag disclaimer, I am not your personal tax guru. I don't know your situation. I used 30% in this example, but you would want to speak with your tax provider to figure out what your actual percentage is. Make sense? Okay, so let's move on to step 5, okay? I want every single one of you watching this video to schedule a tax strategy call. Now, I want to be really, really clear on this, okay? There is a big difference between a tax preparer and a tax strategist. Now, I also have done a video on this in the past, so I will link it below. But high level, guys, a tax preparer is really taking all of your information, plugging it into a software, and telling you what your tax bill is, all right? It is data entry. A tax strategist is reading the tax code, looking at your individual situation, and helping you strategize ways to lower your tax bill. This is a very different skill set than someone who is simply filing and preparing your taxes. And a lot of times I'll speak with entrepreneurs who are frustrated with their tax preparer because they're like, she's not helping me lower my tax bill. Well, that's not what she does. She's a tax preparer, not a tax strategist. Now, listen, the tax code is bananas. I don't know if you've ever tried to read it. I read it a lot. There's a lot of stuff in there, okay? So not everyone is able to stay abreast of all the things. It's very, very difficult. So I would say you really want to start by reaching out to whoever does your taxes and say, hey, I'm specifically looking for a tax strategy call. Is that something you offer? I'm looking to sit down with someone who can look at my situation and tell me some legal ways that I can use the tax code in my favor. That is what I want you guys to do. Now, if you are looking for someone to talk tax strategy with you, shoot me a message. Me and my team do this. I would love to meet with you and help in any way that I can. So there you guys have it. We just laid out 5 ways for you to make sure that all of your stuff is in order so tax season is a breeze. So let's review it. The first thing you are going to do is organize your paperwork, okay? We don't want it to be a mad dash running around the house trying to find all the documents we need. Let's find them now. Let's come up with a home for them, and let's make sure moving forward, all of the documents go there. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to get our books in order. Remember, guys, your bookkeeping literally determines your tax bill, okay? So that should tell you how important proper bookkeeping is. Now, if you do need a bookkeeper, or if you want to learn how to do your own bookkeeping, shoot me a message. I have some stuff that will help you out, some really great resources for you. The third thing that I want you guys to do is take a look at your retirement accounts and your health savings accounts. Reach out to the companies that host them for you and figure out what moves you can make now prior to December 31st to reduce your tax bill. The fourth thing you guys are going to do is think about any purchases that need to be made in your business. And I want you to run the numbers to determine whether or not it is a smart investment in your company and if the way that it reduces your taxes actually makes sense. Remember, we ran the numbers before where it was a $15,000 tax bill. They spent $15,000 in legitimate business expenses and they only lowered that tax bill by $5,000. So I want you to run the numbers and think about, is there something in my business that is a smart investment? And I'm using the word investment because that's the lens I want you guys looking at. I don't want you just running out and buying a bunch of ridiculous things trying to lower your taxable income. But there are certain things that aren't investments, but is it a legitimate expense? Like maybe you print a lot of things. You could go buy, backups of ink. Go for it, right? But I just don't want you going out and buying absurd things that you really don't need in your business. Let's look specifically for investments, which are things that are going to make you more money in your business. So maybe investing into a coaching program, an online course, something like that. Then let's think about things you actually use in your business that you could just start buying in bulk. I know a lot of you guys are cleaning companies. You could buy a crap ton of cleaning supplies right now so that you can get those expenses in prior to December 31st. And the last thing I want you guys to do, step number 5, is book a tax strategy call. I specifically want you to link up with someone who is able to look at your personal situation and talk you through ways you can legally use the tax code to your advantage. Please do not find some guru on TikTok who is going to tell you all kinds of strange things about how you can avoid paying taxes altogether. You don't need to do stuff like that, guys, okay? We don't need to do shady things. The truth is, there are perfectly legal and legitimate ways to lower your tax bill. And that's why I want you to schedule a tax strategy call. And like I said, I'm happy to do that with you. So shoot me a DM. I hope that this training was helpful. And if you guys want to learn more stuff like this, if you guys are ready to take your financial education to the next level, please shoot me a DM. I'd love to chat with you and teach you more about our profit school. I think you would love it. I'll see you guys next week.